Hello, YouTube. Woo. It's just with a little update video on my 2004Scape Ultimate account. So my last video, I tried making something a little bit different. I try to do something a little bit different with each of my videos because, I think I like the idea of trying to make my RuneScape videos into art pieces in a way. Like, they're not particularly good, but I think it's just kind of fun to do. So, I try to do a little something different with each one that I do, but with the last one, the idea that I had was I'll just not do any narration or commentary or anything, and I'll just play some music, and I'll dance to the music with my keypad, in syncopation with the beats. Sometimes how you listen to the beats whilst playing RuneScape and you just dance around with the arrow keys on the camera. At least I do. I do that at least. I don't know if everyone does that. I don't have my run on. I just logged in. I don't know if everyone does that, but I've always done that. Just since forever, since the original 2004, I've always done that. Where's this person? No, unacceptable. What do you mean Oh, actually, they were quite reasonable and moved along. Never mind. I was about to go off. I'm always ready to fight, so I don't know. But that person was quite reasonable. So anyway, yeah, that's what you should actually do. If you want a world to yourself and you log in somewhere and there's someone else there, you should hop, because the person who finds the free world gets the free world, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. But that guy did the correct thing. That's what I usually try to do. Except for if there are no worlds, you have to share. Yeah, and I think last time I logged in and was playing, I was sharing this spot with another guy. And he had wait, not another guy. Never mind. Wait, never mind. I'm fixing that. Okay, I'm working on it.
Working on it. I was making a YouTube video for you.
Sharing this spot with someone else, and this dude's in the big herb. Yeah, sorry, it's a little bit hard to commentate and talk in the microphone whilst playing with a mouse while on a couch. I don't know. I've never used this setup before, but this might be my new setup because I've gotten kind of sick of computer chairs, and I don't really like gaming in my room so much anymore. I've actually started console gaming more. I've been playing Diablo 2 Resurrected mostly on PlayStation 4 because I don't have a PS5, and I don't think this doesn't seem worth it for me. And I normally play Diablo 2 on PC. I prefer Lord of Destruction, the OG, with the pluggy mod, which gives you the infinite shared stash space, so you can just well, it's not infinite. It gets to a certain point where it's if you have too many items in there, past a certain point, the game starts breaking, and then it'll start wiping things. So you got to prioritize some stuff. But for the most part, you can have as many items as you want and build as many characters as you want around it. It's the pluggy mod, PLUGY, for Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. I play that on PC, but I bought Resurrected on PlayStation 4 because I recently, a few months ago, I switched to Linux, actually. Well, no, my main PC broke, so that's why I haven't played any of that in a while. But I got a ThinkPad, and I installed Linux Mint on that, and that was my I guess first foray into Linux, and I've been just enjoying it so much more. Not really. I've just been enjoying it so much more than Windows. I mean, like I always used Windows, like ever since Windows 7. I just never changed from Windows 7, like, because to me it's like Windows 7 was perfect. I mean, like, Windows 95 was perfect, and then Windows 98 was the same thing, but for some reason we had to use it anyway. And then Windows 2000 is kind of a blur to me. I don't remember Windows 2000, like something like, I don't think I ever got Windows 2000, but Windows XP felt like even more perfect than Windows 95, because Windows 95 was perfect. And then what was it? I think we got Vista next, but I never used Vista. And then I think we got Windows 7, and Windows 7 to me was like, no, this is the perfect one. I mean, Windows 7, it just felt like Windows 95, but like, with like a few more like quality of life features and stuff. Sorry if I ramble. I tend to do that. And also, this is a ramble video. I just remembered that this is what I do with these. I haven't done one in a little while. It's, yeah. Anyway, so oh yeah. Back to just quickly back to my story about, like, I was trying to share this spot with. I'm sorry if this is so disjointed, but whatever. I was sharing this spot with somebody else, and they were being like really efficient, and like I was trying to play like decently efficiently too. I was trying to like get in some like good gaming like sesh, and like, what was it? I think like I accidentally like misclicked the giant that he was gonna go for like once, and then it's just like, it's like I misclicked it, and then like I tried to face tank it and stuff. I kind of had like a brain fart moment because I was really high. Um, but it's like I tried to like face tank the giant to like fucking just like, what was it? I don't know. I was just trying to finish it quickly, and I was like face tanking or whatever, and then like he got like. But like I've got these sharks in my inventory just in case I need food for anything, and I got like, I haven't really needed these sharks, but these things drop lobsters too, so sometimes I'll pick up a lobster, like just in case like I reset aggression from a random event or something. But I haven't really gotten anything that's teleported me away from here in the whole time I've been here. Anyway, um, yeah, so I was like, I accidentally tagged this guy's giant, and then I kind of was like face tanking. It was like a bit of a situation. It looked kind of funny, and he got really mad at me, and he thought that I was like, he thought that I was like trying to make him mad or something. But like, I don't know. And then like, I don't know. He just started going off on me, and it was just a bad experience. He eventually I think I said something like the rage that like you not the rage that you feel. It's like there's something like the malintent that, or something like that. Like basically because he was angry at me, he assumed I was angry and trying to get at him. So if that dude ever watches this, I'm sorry I tagged your giant. I didn't mean to. It was an honest mistake. But I think I said something to him like like the anger you're feeling is inside yourself. The anger no, I said something like the anger that you perceive is within yourself or something like that. Oh no, yeah, I said something like that. And it's just like he couldn't handle it because it's like dudes just don't like women for the most part. Like they're very rude to us, and it's like if you're a trans woman, it's like especially so. Especially so. It's like we are the women of women, so like we basically like it's like all of the fucking annoying shit from men that like cis women have to deal with. It's like trans women have to deal with like 100 times, and especially because like America just won't like stop spreading like genocidal propaganda about us. It's like there's just a lot of animosity towards us in the world. But like even so, it's like it's like no one explicitly knows that I'm trans in game unless they've seen my videos. So like, it's like, But I assume everyone here just assumes I'm a dude anyway, because like that's that thing with RuneScape where it's like, it's like people never believe that a woman could want to play this game, and to that I say, become one. We need more. Like join my team. It's pretty lit. I'll give you some estrogen. Um, but yeah. So anyway, long rant there. Hold on. Just give me a sec. Phew. You shouldn't smoke inside the house ever, but I just got rid of a roommate who smoked inside the house, so I had to get the smell out anyway. So I'm gonna just thought I'd do one little celebratory one for myself since the problem's already there. Ooh, um, rat, rat. um, um, shit. Yeah. So, yeah. We generally get given a hard time. But it's like I got thick skin. You can't see it, but I'm covered in a layer of extra dimensional reptilian shapeshifter scales all over my body. So like nothing's getting through this. It's like I got my cloaking device on right now, so you can't see that shit. Um, um, and so like yeah, but basically, the last video I tried to make, I wanted to do sort of like a RuneScape music video type thing, and I was trying to do that, and I thought I'll just play some like cool music and like dance along to the music with my arrow keys, and like that could be kind of cool. And then I drew some pictures in my sketchbook of like what my goals were with the account, because they've shifted a little bit. There's still the main goal of killing cows to, well, originally I was blowing glass on Entrana for crafting, and that was going pretty good. Like, I had a nice little glass blowing setup there, and, it was pretty chill. Like, I was getting, like, I don't remember what XP I was getting an hour. It was really low, but it was, like, pretty nice and pretty consistent. Like, it was, I'd, like, it was better than what I was getting at cows previously, but eventually I decided like, oh, well, like, if I'm gonna go to cows like anyway, and I'm, sorry, no, if I'm, my plan was I was killing, no, at some point I was killing cows for crafting, then I switched to glass blowing on Entrana because I figured that would be a little bit better, but I still had to keep this half of a key in my inventory because the reason I want to get crafting up is to make an Amulet of Glory, because I've only got the Amulet of Power from medium clues, and I got some Dragonhide chaps and a magic shortbow from some hard clues. I got them both in the same hard clue, actually. I did some hard clues at Hellhounds. I had some fun ranging Hellhounds in the Witch Haven dungeon, which is like, it's a pretty chill spot. Like, it's a little bit annoying to safe spot there for the first 10 minutes. So what I normally just do when I go to that spot is like I get in this one spot where if I get like both hellhounds like aggressive towards me, I can just hide against a wall and then they can't reach me because one blocks the other. And then I just like chill there, and every 30 seconds or so I just move my camera a little bit, and I try to look at the screen because I don't want to death to a random event. I had a death to a random event early on in my account, and I lost like my rune shit, and like I think like I had about like maybe I think I had like maybe 40k or something on me. It wasn't that much, but it took me a while to stack up because I just started the account, and I was a little bit bummed out about it. Cause like it's a little bit bummed out about it, but like I didn't understand what happened. Like cause I went AFK for a moment and I completely forget. Like I hadn't realized that there were like dangerous random events in this game yet, and so I posted on the forums because it's like my first thought was like, oh, it's like like either I got hacked because my account is insecure or I did something wrong. I thought like maybe like because I was new to Lost City, I thought like, oh, I don't know how legit this is. It looks pretty legit, but it is legit. It's 100% legit. But like, I'm very paranoid, so like I don't trust too much stuff. And so I thought that like I thought maybe like my fault was like my fault because like this sort of shit happens sometimes in like certain communities. Is like when you're like known as like a trans person, sometimes someone will go out of their way to like try terrorize you or like mess with you. So it's like if you join like online communities and stuff, sometimes like moderators of those communities, if they find out you're trans, they'll like access your account and like mess your shit up and stuff, just to take a little bit of vengeance against all the things they never did in their life, I guess. And so like it's like I suspected, oh, maybe something like that could have happened, like I was getting a little bit paranoid about that. But then I also thought, like, it could just be some, like, weird technical issue because they're, like, rebuilding the game, right? Like, they're rebuilding it for preservation reasons. So I thought, like, oh, maybe there's just some bugs and shit that are being, like, ironed out and stuff. So I made a forum post, like I was, just said like I was down here, yada yada yada, blah, blah, blah. And then logged in and my stuff was like all gone. I was like in Lumbridge, but I was out of combat, so I don't know how it could have happened. And then someone was, like commented pretty quickly, like, no, there are dangerous random events in this game. Like back in the day, you probably got a genie and got like teleported away somewhere, or like maybe something came and like killed you. So like, yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. I'm pretty sure I didn't lose all my stuff. I think I kept some stuff or something. I don't remember. I don't know. Because I haven't died since, so I can't remember the exact death mechanics. But basically, what I was trying to do with that last video was I drew some pictures in my sketchbook, and then I like I like put them over the screen and had them like fade in and out at like half like opacity, like slowly, like over the course of the video, to sort of like do like a storyboard. And I was going sort of for like I was trying to make the images like simple and kind of like just simple like reductive images, because I was thinking a lot about like hieroglyphs at the time, and like Chinese characters, and like just like language symbols where it's like the character is like it's a character like meant to represent certain things. So like I've been looking into Chinese characters lately, and I haven't really memorized too many of them, but my favorite one so far is the one for priest, like because it looks like a little priest. I'll chuck it up on screen, I guess. So like I was thinking about that. I was thinking about like Egyptian hieroglyphs, and how like hieroglyphs have like they're basically a picture meant to like symbolize something. And so I thought like, okay, like glyphs are like full of all of this meaning from like cultural context and stuff. I'm only one person, so I can only draw just like shitty little pictures. So I can't do something as simple as glyphs, but I'll do some simple pictures to try represent what it is that my plans for the account are. And I thought it'd be cool if people could maybe like try and interpret those or something. But that didn't work because the music was copyrighted. Like barely anyone saw the video. It didn't get any reach. And then like one person commented, "Is this psychosis?" question mark. And then I just thought, God, what an idiot. Like, it's just like they couldn't possibly interpret that like the media they're viewing on screen that makes them feel confused and not on easy ground could be a carefully crafted piece of media, and not me experiencing a psychosis. Because like if I was experiencing a psychosis, it'd probably just kind of look like this, like I don't know. I'm not gonna impersonate psychosis, really. I mean, I just kind of did, but like I don't know. I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't really get like psychosis personally. Like I get manic a lot, but like, like I've always been like manic, but it's, I don't experience like any sort of like delusions or anything like auditory hallucinations or any of those sorts of things. I think maybe I've probably come close to psychosis due to like stressful situations at some points in my life, but for the most part, like it's like I'm aware that like my speech is like like pretty like muddied and stuff, but that's just due to like autism stuff. It's like inside my brain, my internal monologue is a lot more clear. Um, and like most of the time, my thoughts are like decently, like fairly decently organized, actually. Um, it's like I enjoy like quite a bit of chaos, and like sometimes I like to let my mind just run wild, let my imagination run wild. But for the most part, it's like my like I have an internal like, sorry, not monologue, but I have an internal dialogue between myself and myself, and like like one version is just like me, in one version of this dialogue is just me as I am talking inside my brain, like asking like begging the question. It's like I'm always asking myself, like, why is this way, why did I do this that way, what was I thinking when I was trying to do that, how could I do this, what would it be like if I did that sort of thing. And I guess the person that I'm consulting is like an idealized future version of myself who has all of the answers to these problems already, but it just like represents as me talking to me. So it's just like I'll ask myself a question, and then like it's like um it's like my brain will figure out what the answer is, and the way that that represents inside my brain is just like a better version of myself just telling my current self, like, as if it's obvious, just like, oh no, you just do this. And then I'll be like, whoa, you're so right, me. But like, it's like that's sort of like how my process works, and I feel like that's a pretty healthy, organized internal process. But when it comes to the speech stuff, when it comes to the words actually coming out of my mouth, not not so great. Yeah, like I go to speak, and then it's just like it's nothing like how I intended for it to come out. And it's like I get very stuck on like chain of consciousness stuff when I'm trying to speak and trying to narrate. But if I'm just like sitting to myself, just doing whatever, it's like my thoughts are very organized. So like, right now I'm trying to monologue. I'm trying to trying to riff, trying to speak to a prospective or like theoretical audience. And so it's just like I haven't prepared a script or anything like that, because like I usually don't like to do that. I'm pretty lazy. I usually don't like to do that. I'm pretty lazy. So I am, just like, getting a little bit lost in stream of consciousness stuff here, and I like doing that for these videos. But like, I like to try do something a little bit different each time, and like this is taking forever to explain, and this is just gonna be how this is gonna be. So, if you don't vibe with this type of like video, that's perfectly fine, because it's like I'm just making them to mess around basically and just like document some of my progress. Anyway, now that I've sort of covered all of that, and not very well, could have been more concise. Now that I've sort of covered all of that, yeah, I guess since the last video didn't do so well, and I don't know, like looking back on it, I don't know how well the pitches, like how easy the pitches would actually be to interpret. I thought I'd try a thing, and I didn't put that much effort into it, and I got out what I put in. And like it's like I didn't want to change the music to like get more views, because it's like, was it like my first 04 video got like 800, it was up to like 800 something views at the moment. My second got like 1.2k, because I just clickbaited it with like my kinks like really hard. And I'll probably do that for this one too. I like to clickbait these videos just to get some extra juice out of them, get some traction, because it's like, whilst these are made just for me, and I don't necessarily care like if other people like them or not. It's like I do like to try do a couple little things just to try push them out a little bit further, so like that they can actually reach some people who might potentially like them, you know. And if it reaches and it often does reach a bunch of people who just come like say some transphobic shit in my comments or like freak out about me as a person, then like, you know what, it's like that's fine. They don't have exposure to people like me. It's like they're gonna freak out. But you know, it's like they gotta learn at some point that the world is full of people who are different from them, who have different interests, different ambitions, different goals in life, different ways of being. You know, different flavors. You know, like you got to learn sometime that different things are different, you know. Otherwise, the world's going to be very hard to inhabit. Because things are pretty chaotic, just in general. So like, not everyone can cope with that. Especially if they grow up in a very structured environment, you know, American like middle class suburban sort of thing. It's like you don't know shit about the world if you grow up in an environment like that. It's like the suburbs is literally and particularly like I'm Australian, so like, you know, it's like I'm glad I don't have to live in America, but you know, like American suburbs is like literally limbo. It's just like suburban sprawl for like ages. It's like that's what I imagine being in limbo would be like. Would just be like, I don't know, maybe being in like some Midwestern like American suburbs, just way out, just like hundreds of rows of like nothing but houses, and then you know it's like everyone drives to like the Walmart complex. You know, everyone goes to like the giant car park where like the shops are and stuff. It's like that's like morbid as fuck to me, you know, especially because like I come from a part of Australia that has heaps of like trains and trams and just like really immaculate like rail systems, and like that pleases me greatly. um and so like, you know, it's like things are kind of car centric here, but like you know, it's like that's, you know, it's like that's happening the whole world over. And but like at least you have like other options here, you know. You know, you have other options and they're viable, and like, you know, and they're actually maintained in like decent service and stuff. Okay. So yeah, so since that last video didn't necessarily explain things very well or reach too many people, I figured like, alright, I'll just correct the record here and, well, sort of like let people know where I'm at. So I figured since I was already on Entrana blowing like glass, and I already had this tooth half of a key in my inventory, I figured like, well, this is taking up an inventory spot no matter what. And in order to actually make the amulet, you know, it's like I was going for the crafting level to make the amulet, which I'm very far from. You know, but, ooh, more fruit. Let's go. Strange plant. This is what I have to deal with all the time. Strange plants just in my periphery. You know, try date someone new. Oh no, CIA asset. God damn. You know, um, every time. But what I mean, that's a joke, by the way. I don't actually think all of my ex-partners are CIA plants, you know. Just like some of the more obvious ones, you know. Because, like, I don't know. What happens a lot of the time in my life is, like, you know, I'm a fairly isolated person a lot of the time. That's changing, though. I've been going out to clubs and shit. I've been having fun. I've been meeting lots of girls. I've been shaking my booty. I've been having tons of fun. I've also been dealing with stressful shit as well, but the tons of fun makes all of that perfectly worth, you know? Was it hard-earned first deserves a big cold beer, Victoria Bitter, you know? That's, yeah, yeah, VB Longneck, get that up, yeah. Fuck, fucking, oh god, this is so, yeah, this is off the rails actually, now that I think about it. Bada bing, um, So anyway, I thought I'd just clarify um, what the focus shift was with the account goals. So since I'm already carrying the key and I was working toward half of a key and working towards the crafting requirement, I thought like, well, if I can get this crafting requirement, but then I'll still only have half a key. So it makes perfect sense to just go get the other half now. And it seems I might actually have to look this up because there's some new tools for comparing drop rates and stuff that I learned about from a video I watched recently. I can't remember the dude's name off the top of my head because I only watched it like maybe an hour and a bit ago. But I'll chuck no, actually, I was gonna say I'll chuck his channel name up on screen, but then I thought, like, no, I won't do that in case he doesn't want to be associated with me, because I'm pretty weird. Like, normally I like to shout people out and stuff where possible, because, like, I think, it's just credit where credit is due. But, like, knowing how weird this community is, like, towards me specifically. Actually, I had someone on one of my other videos like type in all caps, "Get out of our community!" like, like they really wanted me gone. Apparently, it's like you know, but like yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. So like you can deal with it. I've been playing Scape since 2004, and it's 2004 forever now. So like you're stuck in the time loop with me and your community, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna prosper on my account. I'm gonna have a good time. And also, it's like when you mean get out of our community, this is like if you watched anything about the video, you'd know that this is like a solo self-found account, right? This is like an ultimate, right? So I got my inventory and that's what it be, It's like, am I really part of the community if I'm just like off in my own spot hermiting the whole time? It's like I'm online in the MMO and stuff, and like, was it like, bam, no, it's what community, buddy? This is Jasmine solo. Holy shit. Like, yeah, what could get out of your community? I don't even know you. Like, what? Getting sidetracked there. But yeah. I just won't plug that dude's video in case, just in case he doesn't want to be associated with me, because like I feel like, it's like I'm not in the least bit embarrassed by my conduct, but like, my amygdala is tiny. That's the part of your brain that controls the fear response, and like, I got in a lot of fights growing up, so it's like in the like fight or flight response, like, like is like triggered, then like, it's like I'm very happy to fight because it's like I grew up with like a lot of, just a lot of situations where it's like someone just wants to fight me and there's nothing I can do about it other than fight the person, It's like, it's either someone at school or it's like my older brother or something, it's like, it's just like, it's just too many situations where it's like someone wants to throw down and then it's like I don't have the option to say no because like, it's like if I say no, then they're just gonna jump me anyway, right? And like if I don't fight them proudly, then they're just gonna try like walk all over me again, right? So it's like whether or not I win or lose the fight, it's like I have to give them a good show, right? So if I win the fight, this is getting a little bit too personal, but whatever, this is my channel. So, like, if I would win the fight, what I would often do is, like, I would bite the person or something, like, once I had the advantage. Like, I'd try, like, because, like, people who try to fight you, they always have this, like, idea in, like, it's like a movie in their head. It's like they want to beat someone up and get away with it for free and stuff, but, like, what I used to do, because I was pretty skinny, like, all my life, so it's like I wouldn't win very many fights. I mean, kids aren't very strong anyway. So it's like it was mostly evenly matched with like most people, but it's like I would always try to go like I would always try to like visit real violence upon them. It's like I would try to like leave them with a mark or something. It's like I would, it's like I want them to bleed at least a little bit. I want them to see their body take collateral damage as the result of starting fights, and like I want them to experience real pain, not just like bruising or like a minor like you know, like not just the impact from being hit, but it's like I want them to experience damage from that fight so that they don't want to do it again. And that's not just a don't fuck with me, I'm crazy sort of thing. That's I am doing this so that they never challenge me again and they never challenge any of my friends. Because, like, you know, it's like in school I was kind of like, I had a pack of nerds that I had like wrangled together, and like I was very like protected. Like, part of the whole reason I started the group was I was like, oh well, we're nerds. I didn't say this to them explicitly, but this was just sort of like my idea when like setting out to make friends is, okay, I'm gonna make friends with the nerds that I like and have stuff in common with, and you know, safety in numbers, we'll have a big enough group, no one will mess with us. And for the most part that was true. It's like the only people, like, people tried to fight me a lot because, like, when you're trans, like, even before you know it, people just want to kill you, you know. It's just the way it is. Like, you know, I've had teachers like try to crack my skull open and stuff. Like, I've had like adults in the street like start strangling me and shit because like I had a smart mouth or whatever, you know. And it's just like, oh, I've just like had so many people like straight up just like try to murder me, like, before I was even like 12 years old. And so it's just like, you know, it's like I didn't know why growing up, but it's like, you know, as like, you know, as I do more gendering as I get older, it's like it's become very clear that it's like, oh no, it's just that people are insecure about all like the societal expectations and stuff, and seeing me makes them feel threatened, and so they try to be violent and eliminate me, but I always win, so no. But yeah, this is a real rant. This is a real fucking rant. God damn, I am not organized today. Um, yeah, and like I think you can probably tell a little bit from growing up with all the fights that it's like if I get on the topic of it, it's like I really like winning fights. So like you know, if I get on the topic of it, I do kind of get like a little bit stuck in, and like, you know, it's like, you know, like I get pretty like braggadocious, you know. I get pretty proud of like my violence tactics to deter other violence, just because it's like it's always sort of like worked out the way I planned, and I feel like a G for it. But like, you know, it would have been better if like no violence. Um, I would have preferred to have grown up without that. I feel like things would have been easier. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sure where I was going with that. I think I was bitching about some guy who wanted me like out of his community or whatever. Anyway, yeah, yeah, fuck you, buddy. You're a piece of shit. Um, anyway, and that's to that guy, not you, my lovely viewer, who is totally here um for a curious and enjoyable experience. Um, um, okay, so get back on track a little bit. I've really yeah, not yeah, just not organized today. Okay, so maybe I should have wrote a script for this. Nah, fuck it. I'll write a script for one of them eventually. It'll be a one-off thing. So anyway, yeah. So basically, had only half of the key, need the other half. It seemed. Oh yeah. Because God, yeah. This is so stream of consciousness. Um, so yeah. Basically, at the time, I deduced that fire giants would probably be the best place to get a key half as a drop. Without a ring of wealth. Because it's like I would. You know, you need a dragonstone to do that. And I don't know if I'll make a ring of wealth and then like stay here and then like try farm another key, or if I'll just be happy with the one key and um try get the um just try go for the glory, I guess. But anyway, so like my whole thinking was like, okay, well, it's like if I need to get this key anyway, then I should just go and get the key. And if I'm gonna get it from fire giants, if that's the best place to get a key as a drop, then I should, I should go get myself some better ranging gear because I was, going to be kind of like close to like 70 range anyway. Um, and so I went up to Hellhounds, got myself some better ranging gear. I did a lot of clues. I spent a lot of time in the wilderness, by the way. I was out there dangerous with an inventory full of loot. Most of what you see here is stuff that I took with me. I haven't killed too many fire giants actually. Um, so like, you know, um, that's where I got these sharks and stuff. I think I must have gotten it within like maybe it must have been like less than 10 clue scrolls or something. But like, I did a decent amount. Went to the Hounds, I'd get the clue scrolls, I'd, um, go out to the wilderness. I'd just say every time, I'd just say, fuck it, like what's the fun in playing like a no banking, no trading account? Back on OSRS, it's like I would only do wieldy steps here and there for clues, because it was always like too risky. But I was carrying like hundreds of mils on that account, and when I quit, I wound up just like suiciding. No, no, not suiciding. I had a friend sacrifice me with a dragon dagger at the Statue of the Old Knight and just like pinated all my stuff on the floor there because it's like I knew for a fact like I am not coming back to OSRS. Like it is donezo from here on out. Um, but on this account I thought like okay, like maybe I would be a little bit riskier and do more wieldy steps, and I'm going to do them all. And it's like there's no like in OSRS there's a bunch of stuff you can do. It's like you can like die and then your stuff will stay on the ground for an hour, and then you can go do a wieldy step within the hour, and then come back and pick all the stuff up if you get like another looting bag and stuff. And you can do stuff like that to protect it. I didn't do that too much just because it's such a process. And like it's like I feel like part of the fun of Ultimate sometimes is risking it all, like in the wildy. It's like, but I never encountered a single person in the wilderness in all the clues that I did on 2004Scape, and it's like I was doing them just whenever I got them, and so it's like I think maybe just because like time zone difference, maybe majority of players are American, so I probably just didn't run into Americans. But like, yeah, no, of all the clues I did, I didn't run into anybody else. Well, no, I think I saw one other person, but they weren't PKing or anything. They were just like, yeah, I think they were mining rune rocks or something. But yeah. Yeah, but like that's a spot where you'd expect to see someone, but that would be a spot where I would expect to see a PKer at least. But like yeah, no, I didn't see any. Um, um, and so like it's like that's nice that I didn't lose my stuff, but I was kind of hoping to get jumped out there a little bit because it's like I wanted to like part of me wanted to see like if I could survive an attack in the wilderness. It's like I had like limited food on me. I think I had some. Yeah, it's like I'd buy some like swordfish from the Brimhaven shop, and like I'd just like go out with like a few swordfish and stuff, and like I just like I thought like I had it in my head like like oh, if someone attacks me, it's like I bet maybe I could escape. I've been playing the Scape for a while. It's like my mechanics can be good when I feel like it. Like if I really want to game real hard, I can lock in a bit. But like I thought like I really want to. I really wanted to run into some trouble in the wildy, I guess, was the thing. It's like I wanted the thrill of the hunt, I guess. Oh well, I guess I would be the prey in that case. But like, it's just like, if I were in a position to have like good enough gear to fight back and stuff, it's like then I'd totally like bring more stuff like prepared for a fight. It's just I just didn't have enough inventory spaces to have the resources for a sustained fight. So like I just had it in my head like, oh, if I run into PKs, then like we will make a daring escape. I was hoping I could make a daring escape. But didn't get any of that. So got the chaps, got the magic shortbow, and came here to do some ranging because I figured if I'm hunting for key halves, they're on the random gem drop table, right? So it's like, why would I go kill fire giants after crafting and then get a bunch of like uncut gems dropped, and then get all of this excess like crafting XP. So like, yeah, I'm for like I'll just come here now and I'll get my other key half because then I can cut all the gems. I'm doing this. I can get some ranged XP too, and then like the more ranged XP I get, the more levels I get, then the more likely I'll be to like one hit cows if I go kill cows to do crafting. So um, I think like I decided because I was glass blowing for a long time and it was a really chill method, but it was also hella boring, you know? Whereas like killing cows is just like non-stop, like click, pick up, hide, right click, attack cow and stuff. And like when I last killed cows for crafting with like melee, you know, I was using a rune simi. First time I did, I was using dragon longsword. Then I switched to a rune simi, which I got just after doing waterfall quest. And then like it occurred to me at some point like this would probably be better with ranged. If I could hit eights with ranged, then it'd be a lot easier to like I thought like, oh, I'll buy like 100,000 bronze arrows or something, and then I just won't pick up any arrows because I'll be like dropping barely like any arrows. It's like per like kill. So it's just like my thought was just like I'll just spend GP on arrows and then like leave them on the floor and just pick up the hides, and that'll allow me to attack fast from a distance, and that'll like give me better respawn rates and stuff, and just be able to pick up more hides quicker to go into the crafting guild and like make the hard leather bodies and then go back out and stuff. And so it's like that's a pretty intensive method. And I don't even know if I'll stick to that eventually. I just want to get myself in the peak condition to do that. And that all sort of like coincides with getting the key here. So yeah. And also it is a form of procrastination as well, because it's like that sand blowing on Entrana was really like it's like the more and more I did it, like the clearer and clearer it became how far away I was from 80 crafting. Like 65 is, it's like we all know that 92 is half of 99, but like hooey, it's like in this game our crafting XP rate's low on an ultimate, like, and I'm pretty sure I don't even know if you can even get that much. I guess maybe I feel like maybe crafting's maybe faster now that there's like there's the game's been running for like a year and a bit, and like there's more people participating in the economy and stuff. Maybe more people are selling crafting supplies, but like when I jumped on, it's like if you wanted to train crafting, you had to go kill cows at the crafting guild. That was the best XP per hour, because it's just like buying and selling crafting materials from people. It's like it's such a process. It's like you need to find people selling, and then it's like you're only going to get so many at a time. So it's like for most players the reasonable thing to do, I guess, is just like bank them passively from like trades if you need them, and then like train it all at once. But like for anyone who wanted to like grind crafting, it's like you'd have to just go kill the cows, because it was like there was no like faster way to like gather resources to craft yourself to get like better XP for the time used consuming them, or processing them. And so yeah, that's basically it. It kind of took me like I don't even know how long it's been. Probably a very long time. Probably took me like 30 minutes to like an hour to say the very obvious thing. But these are meant to be ramble videos, so like I figured there's no harm in rambling. But yeah. So it's like the last video didn't explain any of that very well. And like it got one comment from someone who asked me if the video was Psychosis, so it's like no, it's an MP4 file. That's a different thing from someone experiencing a split in their personality and reality as a result of traumatic circumstances or a traumatic reaction to a situation. That's what psychosis is. Buddy, if you're watching this one, that's what psychosis is. That's a thing that happens to people that can happen to anyone under enough stress and extenuating circumstances. It is not a video file uploaded to YouTube.com. Okay. So yeah, and it's like, yeah. I understand why people like view me and judge me as very odd, because I am very odd. It's just so happens to be that I'm very adapted to being this odd and quite like being this way. So it's normal for me. It's kind of like, when like someone does a thing, like, like if someone picks up a guitar and they play guitar a lot. Oh god, I'm getting so passive aggressive here. So like, if someone like picks up a guitar and they play guitar and they like keep doing that, right? It's like when you pick up the guitar at first, it feels weird and it's not natural to you, and it feels kind of like you couldn't do it, and you look at other people who do play guitar, and then they look like so good. Yeah, like it's like, they make it look so easy, and you're just like, I could never do that. Like, like that doesn't make any sense to me. And then like, you play the guitar long enough, and then eventually you become a guitar person, and then playing guitar is normal for you and not this crazy thing that you don't understand. It's something that you've put the time and effort into experiencing consistently, and that's what my life is kind of like, right? It's like I've always been put under crazy circumstances, right? It's like most people don't have adults trying to murder them at a young age, and don't have just like everyone trying to challenge them. I'm really hung up about this shit. Yeah, I'm really hung up about this shit. I'm getting kind of dark with it. But it's like most people don't have to deal with those sorts of things growing up, and so it's just like, it's like it's not going to be normal for them to be under huge amounts of pressure. So it's like I've already experienced all of like the most worst pressure points in my life, and so like I'm adapted to the pressure. I'm like Bane. I'm like the blobfish from deep under the ocean. um like I'm a high pressure environment creature. Um, but I'm trying, it's like I don't have to be that anymore, because it's like I'm all grown up now, and I can eat candy for dinner if I want to, and no one can stop me, and you shouldn't do that, but sometimes I do. Um, but like, basically it's like, I was put in crazy situations, and it's like, it's like the situations I experienced were crazy, and it's like, yeah, maybe they might have made me crazy relative to other people, but I didn't have an option to not experience the crazy stuff. So what was I meant to do? It's like, was I meant to like turn out like all normal? Like what? It's like I turned out normal for the circumstances that I was in, and I would say I actually turned out exceptional for the circumstances I was in. Thank you very much. I think I've done quite well with my lot in life, because like, it's weird. I had this friend once tell me, like, we're not friends anymore, but like, was it one friend? There's like one friend who, it's like every time we talk, they always tell me that I've been through so much. It's like they're like, oh no, but you've survived so much, and I think like, you're not gonna tell me what I've survived. I know what I've survived. That was me when it happened. Like, yeah, but it's like, I had this like one friend. They would always tell me like, oh, you've survived so much, and like it was like, it gets kind of, well, they wouldn't always tell me. They'd tell me like sometimes. It would just really bother me when they did. Sorry, I thought I saw a diamond in the pile for a second. It was just me not looking at the bones properly. So like, yeah, yeah, but like one time, it's like one time they were saying this, like, oh no, you've survived so much. I was talking to this other friend the other day, and we both agreed that it's kind of crazy that you haven't killed yourself. And they were like trying to tell me that as like a compliment. It's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what a weird thing to say. Like, I don't know. Like, that was weird to me. It's like, it's a miracle I haven't killed myself. It's like, what the fuck? Aren't you meant to be my friend? Yeah, anyway, we're not friends anymore. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I miss that friend, but like God, they became such a piece of shit that it's like, like I think they started getting like the whole AI like I've bitched about them before, but like they started like getting like the psychosis sort of thing. I would call it like a good example of AI psychosis, but like, basically this friend's working in an office the whole time, not doing anything for themselves ever. And then there's some breakdown in the group over a bad band project which another friend started, and like, like we all tried to help him make it work, but he just became super controlling, and the band became a nightmare for everyone. So, sharing an apartment with that friend, and the studio was in our house, and I couldn't have it, so I kicked him out, and then like, the rest of the band broke up after that. But well, I think maybe they do still play together sometimes, but it's like that it fractured the band for a while. But like, honestly, it's like I had the least musical skill in that dynamic anyway, so it's like, it's like they probably didn't need me, tbh. So I contributed some interesting shit. I feel like the projects we were working on were better as a result of my contribution, but it's like they didn't need them. It's like they could have just polished them as much, with their own expertise and own skills. And like, it's like they would have been just as good. They would have just not been exactly how they were with my involvement. It's like they would have just lacked my flavor. But like they didn't. There's like the sort of music they were like trying to make is like totally not even my flavor anyway. So it's like, so it's like I wasn't feeling represented in the studio. I didn't feel like any of my like styles ever got to get made, and I really like I'd have to push a lot just to like get certain like samples at it, and like sonic elements that I like, would think really hard about to get improved, um, to get to get put in. And it's eventually I got to the point where it's like, why am I in this fucking shitty band with like an abusive like roommate who used to be one of my like childhood friends, who is now just like turning everyone of like my friends into like his bitch, and like nobody else wanted to do anything about him. We had conversations about doing things about him, but nobody fucking had the guts for us to fucking sit him down and have like a group conversation and be like, right, you need to change your behavior. This is ruining the studio. Anyway, I'm gonna be hung up about that one forever. But like, yeah, basically, that sort of like collapsed, and like that studio, I guess, was the only creative outlet for the friend who worked in the office. And it's like he's got a partner that treats him like shit as well. And so like, I guess since he and I were always like really close friends, and we were the sorts of friends where it's like, we could tell each other anything, and we could critique each other like in good faith, and so it's like we sort of kept each other balanced a bit. But it's like, it's like, I guess like, since I couldn't handle the one friend that I was cohabiting with here because he was becoming the terror of the studio, this other friend, never made the decision to cut ties with that friend as well. And like that, that friend that I cut ties with just only got worse as time goes on, because his ego couldn't take the hit of being kicked out of here. Because, it's like abusive people never know that they're being abusive. No one ever sits back and goes, am I an abusive person? Let me ask myself this question. Am I doing harm to others? People don't typically sit back and ask themselves that. So, it's like he just became a really bad person, acted out a lot, and I guess sort of dragged everyone down with him. And so I guess like this other friend, like just had more stressful circumstances and went insane, and like, it's like I would have been happy to remain their friend throughout that period, even though they had lost their mind, because like, I know what it feels like to not be on solid ground, it's like I've always been trying to stay somewhat stable in unstable situations, and it's like, it's like I maybe sometimes lose my mind a little, but I always know what I need to do to get back to zero, you know? It's like I always know how to balance the scales, you know? So it's like if I find myself a little bit crazy, it's like I'm 100% aware that I'm like insane in that moment, and I think that like that awareness of that, you know, sort of like cancels out really any of the insanity, because it's like, how sane am I really if I can perfectly rationalize my situation and know where I need to get back to be feeling better? You know, a lot of the time it just feels like extra stress. And that's usually, I guess, what it is. But it's like stress will make you act out. So stress made this friend act out. And they'd been looking into a lot of conspiracy stuff of mine that they couldn't handle. And so they started like worshipping like Odin, you know. And it's like, and it's because I'm into esoteric stuff, you know. It's like I'm interested in witchcraft and like, you know, like some forms of mysticism and stuff. And it's like, you know, I'd like, very much just like interested in systems of belief. Like I'm not like an in-depth scholar of like any particular like religion or like you know, it's like I'm not like super into like a specific form of occultism or anything. I just like to learn a bit about all of them, and I find, you know, I find like magic systems interesting and stuff like that. Like I just think that shit is cool, right? And like, so because I'm into all that stuff, I guess this friend wanted to get more esoteric to try and impress me, and I guess like he just you know, probably like wound up in some internet like Nazi rabbit holes and just like started like worshipping Odin, and it's just like, okay, but we're both like, it's like if you're gonna, oh no way, oh shit, no way, god damn, all right. I knew I was feeling lucky. God, yeah, alrighty. What do we do now? What do we do now? Shit, a gift from Odin himself. Oh my god. Thanks, Big O. Nah, just it's because the loop, it's O for Odin, you see. The synchronicities. Um, no, yeah. So like this friend started getting into like worshipping Odin, and like, you know, I figured like if you're gonna go like pagan, right? If you're gonna like get into like a pagan religion that's been like wiped off the face of the earth in terms of like people who actually practice it, you know, it's like, why would he like, you know, why would he not go for like Irish paganism? You know, like worship somebody like Morrigan, like a nature goddess, you know, of like crows and shit. Like that's so much cooler. Like, you know, it's like way cooler, you know. And it's like we both have Irish heritage, because like a lot of, you know, that was the sort of like thing with like the founding of Australia, is that like the British colonized Australia, but a lot of the labor they used to do that colonization were like Celtic like prisoners who were essentially slaves, right? They were in prison more or less for the crime of being Celtic, but you know, there's be like some petty crimes or something. You know, it's like pretty much like the Saxons conquered, like there was so like after the fall of Rome there was a power vacuum in Europe, and then like in the sort of like Gallic regions the Saxons just sort of like whooped absolutely everybody's ass, and like, you know, decimated everybody's populations. And you know, it's like, this is why I don't like the whole concept of like, you know, it's like this is why this is why I'm all like woke and stuff, and like I don't identify with like whiteness per se, because it's like when people want me to identify with whiteness, it's like they want me to identify with like the gentrifying forces that wiped out so many Irish people, and it's just like fuck you, motherfucker. It's like, I am not going to identify with the people who killed my ancestors. Like, no way, no how. Just because we share the same skin color doesn't mean we have anything fucking in common, mate. You know, but like, yeah, you know, it's like, so like, since like, you know, Australia was colonized with so much like Irish, Cornish, Welsh, and like Scottish, like, essentially like, you know, like essentially like prisoners, but you know, like they're more or less slaves, right? And I mean, like, prisoners are slaves more or less. It's like, even in like the modern context, it's like, if you like, even if like, let's say you, I don't know, like someone like I don't know, maybe someone does like a mass shooting or something, and it's like, like they do some like heinous crime, like they do like one of the, like they do like a public massacre or something, like just like one of the worst things you could possibly do, and you get convicted of that crime like correctly, right? It's just like, the judge and all that finds you guilty as you should be for the, and you're going to be held accountable for the thing that you've done. It's like, if you get put in prison for that, you're still a slave, It's like, just because you did the bad thing doesn't mean that, like, doesn't mean that you're not being enslaved, It's just like, you're just, you're just a horrible person who is also a slave, It's like, because we have this, particularly from, like, American media about, like, American media is like about like, slave trade and shit. Like, I don't know this. I'm not going to speak too much about this because like I'm not American and I'm not like black. So it's just like, I'm not going to go talking about like the history of like racism and slavery in America as an Australian. I can talk about Australian colonization a lot better because like, it's like my history is a little bit more involved in that. You know, but like what was I saying with this? It's like, yeah, even if you're like an objective, like even if you're a terrible person and you deserve to be like put down or whatever, if you're put in a state where you're enslaved, you are a slave, right? So it's like, I'm not, because people always riff on Australians saying, you're all convicts, you're all like basically labeling us criminals. It's just like, okay, but it's like, we're criminals in the way that like a guy who like got caught with like a joint in his pocket in America and gets arrested for it and like gets like a mandatory minimum sentence is a criminal. Like, it's like in the Bush era or something, or like the Reagan era, it's like, like something that should really be a misdemeanor or not even a thing at all, it gets trumped up to a crime. So that's what happened with a lot of the prisoners who were brought over to Australia. It's just, it was mostly the fact that they were Celtic ethnic minorities, which is, it's like there was up to a certain point, not even that long ago. It's like, I think even up to like the 1960s, 1970s, like in places like America and places like Australia, you would see signs out the front of like pubs and businesses that said no black or Irish. And so just, like if you're an Irish person, like and you're like enticed by like white identitarianism, like avoid that shit like the fucking plague. It's like, you should be a proud Irish Republican or something at least, like you should be proud of your Irishness, not your whiteness. Fucking, because like being proud of a skin color, what the fuck even is that? Be proud of a real culture. be proud of a real culture, not the fucking color of your skin. Go get cultured, be proud of that culture, and if you're not connected to your own culture, go study other cultures and get enriched by other cultures. Like shit, eat some spicy noodles. Fuck, like do something. Just don't worship Odin as like a cop out. I guess that's where I was going with this. Yeah. Shit. Anyway, all right. Well, we have the tooth half of the key. We have the loop half of the key completing the crystal key. So I guess yeah, all right. I guess we'll go open the chest. Why not? I haven't left this spot in a hot minute. I forgot what the outside world looks like. Got some strange fruit here to help me along my way. I think we'll open the chest and then I'll end the video because I gotta pee really badly and I'm not wearing my regular equipment because I thought I was just gonna sit down and have a it's like I just had a shower before I recorded this and thought I'd just sit down and do like a 5-minute one or something, but this has clearly been a lot longer than that, but it's whatever. I needed to play some fucking 2004Scape. It's been too long. I needed to get a little bit of a session. And I think this is the perfect way to cap off my sesh. So yeah, I guess we're going to, after this, I guess we're going to cows. And we are going to open that. We have our Dragonstone and a couple other gems. Okay. Okie dokie. I gotta pee real bad. 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 So, thank you for watching, YouTube audience. This has been Markiplier. I hope you have a good day. Remember to stay tubing.